Hi there, my name is B. Welcome to my channel. We are in the 5th episode of The Endless Runner. Today we continue with the UI, and this time we are going to add more new canvas panels with animations. One for when the game starts and another one when the game ends. At the end of the video you will see this. We have some animations over there, and after 3 seconds the game starts. We also have another canvas for at the end of the game. Support me on Patreon to get the project files and subscribe to my channel. In today's video, we're going to focus on the widget blueprint. There is nothing on the code that we need to add because we added on the previous video. This is my widget blueprint. As you remember, I have this canvas panel with all the things that I added from the previous video, with the coins, the distance, and the lives. There. And for today's video we have these two new panels when the game starts, with the title, another title, and this is for the 3, 2, 1 go. They are just normal text and I'm going to animate with the timeline. 3, 2, 1 go. And the other one is the game over panel, with another title and game over. Let me show you quickly the animations for the start game panel. We have this screen over here, and we have two animations. That's for the game, the start of the game, and I animated all of these elements. So I've animated each element, text element. So we have the 3, then comes the second, and then comes the first one, and finally go. And then when everything finishes, there is an alpha for the whole render thing. And the other one, the game over panel, is similar. So we have game over, and yeah, so we have the game over that goes bigger and then goes smaller and everything ends. So this is what we are going to do. I'll probably just focus on one of them because otherwise it will be a boring long video, but you will get the idea and you can do any other stuff, something more fun or whatever you want. Let's go to the graph and I can show you how to play those animations. It's very simple. This comes from the code. I will show you where, but this is a blueprint event and I have another one for on game over. So this is for start game and this is game over. Then this is the panel, which is, this is important, this is variable, so we can see it on the event graph. So that's the start game panel. And the first thing I do is set the visibility to visible, just in case. Okay, yeah, it's because I have this panel not visible at the there. Visibility by default is hidden, so I won't see it on the game. And I have the same thing for the other one, hidden. So first thing is set the visibility to visible for both cases, and then display animation. This is the countdown animation, which is this one. And here I have game over animation, same thing. Both of them appear in this category. I only have 2, and this will be visible automatically. So just basically take the animation, just drag the animation, get animation, and then plug it there in animation. And that's it, nothing else to do there. Let me show you where I call this on the code, but that comes from the previous video, so if you watch the other video you already know. Let's review that quickly. Those two events are declared in the in-game UI, and they are blueprint implementable event with a category on start game and on game over. And that's it. That's all you have to do by code. Then we need to call it, obviously. So if we go to the game controller, on the respawn function, which is the function that I called at the beginning of the game, and every time the player falls on the ocean, I basically get the UI. This is a getter that I have from the running playing controller, and I call on start game. This getter is just simply declared on the runner player controller, and basically it's forced in line, so it will compile only on the header and it will be faster. And I just return the UI in-game UI pointer reference. That's the getter, and that's it. The other event on game over is being called on the tick. So here we have the tick, and remember I basically check the position of the player respect to the floor, which is the plane for the ocean, and I check the position, and we take a life every time we fall, and if it's the last one we set the game to game over, and then we call the event, and that's it. Let's move on now to create one of the animations on the widget blueprint. And before that, to get access to those events, you just need to press events on game over, for example. And yeah, because I have that one, it won't show up, but if the event is not there, it will give you access to that, and it's in red, so this is the blueprint implementable event. Only implementable on the blueprint, no C++. Now, how do we create an animation? So let's do this in a fresh widget blueprint, but everything is applied the same way. So let's create a new widget blueprint, user interface, widget blueprint, and we can set test. Okay, so let's recreate this game over panel. So first things, let's create a panel. This is a panel, canvas panel. This is the main one, and this is the game over. So this is variable to see it on the graph, and then game over panel. Then I like to do this, which is the anchor, completely covering the screen, so we will have any issues. Okay, so if we go to the graph now, we can see that we have the game over panel there. Let's continue, let's create this. We can add this image, which is basically a background. Let's do that. Image. There. We can set the anchor covering everything, and let's put this to less alpha, similar of what I have in PB Black maybe. Okay, we have that, and then next thing, we don't need to do this is variable, so you can untick that and that won't be there. That's clean, so make sure to do that and only expose the variables that you really need. Let's go back, then we have the endless title runner and the game over. Let's focus on this one, which is the one that I want to animate. Okay, so we need a text. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. Text. Okay. Again, we can set the anchor to the middle, for example. I like to align this on the middle as well, and then we can game over. We can change the color if we want to, for example, something like that. And we can also change the the font size, something bigger, something like, I don't know, 90, yeah, something like that. And let's do this in the middle. I like to cover everything with that. And important to reset the position, and maybe we can set this position. Okay, we can set this with nice numbers. I don't like to have all those floats hanging there. And last thing we can do is we can add the outline settings. For example, let's add 2. That's not very visible. Yeah, 3. I'm gonna change the color. I don't like that color. Okay, that's good enough. Now let's animate this text. So for that, first thing, the animation panel is right there. So first let's create one animation. Say game over animation, for example. Let's click that, and then we need to click on the element that we want to animate, in this case the text. So click on there, and then we add track, and then we have all of these elements. So we can select this canvas panel slot, which is the one that we need to animate, not the text. The canvas panel slot will give us access to the size, basically these elements right there. So let's click there, and then we have that panel. We can add the property that we want, and in this case is the transform, because we are going to add the size. We are going to make the size bigger and then smaller. Transform. Then we need the scale. So first we want scale 1. No, we want scale 0. So let's set that to 0. Then right there, maybe we want 1.5 or 1.3 maybe. Yeah, so yeah, we will have that nice animation. And just right there, we want to go back to the normal size, which is 1. So in this case, we will have that nice bigger and smaller, and it looks good. So that's the final animation. Now let's imagine we want to add the opacity for the whole panel. So again, we need to click on the things that we want to animate. Let's set this to, yeah, maybe right there. So we need to click there, and we need to add a new track. And again, okay, click on the game over panel, and then game over panel canvas slot. With these elements, we need to click on the canvas over panel, and then what we are interested in is in the render opacity. So let's click there, and we have 1 there, but at the end we want to have 0, so everything will fade out. Yeah, so that's the animation, very simple and nothing else to do. So let's now go back to the graph. And for example, let's imagine we want to use it on event construct, because here we don't have that event. Well, actually we can change this and set that, so let's do that. So we can go to, yeah, the graph defaults, and then we can select the in-game UI. I'm gonna have a lot of errors, because if you remember from my previous video, you need to set all of these elements before that. But well, let's see if this works. So I can't use those events right now because of all of these errors, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create quickly the elements, and then I'll come back and show you how to use the events. Okay, let's go back to the widget blueprint that is actually working on the game, and let's check what else do I have here. So yeah, okay, for example, for the go, let's hide this guy over there. Okay. All of these are different tracks. Remember, I basically click on that and add the track. So we have 1 for each of them, and then finally the canvas panel. So for example, let's check what I have here. I have the property visibility, that you can add right there as well. So it will be hidden from the start. That's for the one, sorry. I have 3 for them. For all of them, I have the visibility at the start. Yeah, so 1 and 2 are hidden in this point because I'm gonna focus only on the 3. So for the 3, I have the visibility to visible, and then the scale, and I did exactly the same. So it goes bigger and then goes smaller, and then there's a pause right there, and then the second star, and happens the same, bigger, and then I play basically with the scale and visibility. The one the same. For the go, I started a bit earlier. And one thing I do for the whole thing is to match these 3 seconds, because these 3 seconds are the ones that I use on the game. So the game will match this animation. I'm sure you can add some events, but I haven't added any events right here. Basically that's it. That's all you have to do for adding animations. There are lots of things that you can play with. For example, you can add some animation right there to every time you lose a life. You can add another type of effect, something different. Maybe you want to play with the rotation and add like a shake or something, and you can do things like it. So it's very useful, and it's nice to use this visual type of things instead of by code. And this is a great example to use the UI and use the blueprints in this case. Before I wrap up this video, let me show you how I hook up the widget blueprint, the one that works with the game. And I use the runner player controller because the player controller is really the element that you use to manipulate UI. So if we go to the header, we have a reference to the UI, and this is the blueprint editable property that I have on the blueprint based on the runner player controller, and this is the reference to the actually widget blueprint. Then I go to the begin play, and this is how I hook this up. So add to the viewport, that's important, and you need to create the widget. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, share, like, it helps. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. So see you next time on the next video. Bye!